Good evening. This is Defacto review for this week with me, Jargal Tampatarja. Topics are tonight, first about the Economic Forum 2023 held in Mongolia. Flood and what is after, second topic. The third topic about the tourism industry update, what's going on there. Three topics. First topic about Mongolian Economic Forum 2023 was held last week, just before NATO, under the motto Welcome to Mongolia, and organized in two places, State Palace and Chinggis Khan Museum. Total 2,200 guests from domestic and foreign guests came to this forum, largest, I think, in history of this forum. The main idea was to attract foreign direct investment to Mongolia and to have a promotion to develop Mongolian tourism, inbound tourism. Foreign direct investments are important for Mongolia because it is the only remaining way of attracting more capital to the economic growth of Mongolia. So let's see this foreign direct investment situation from the government point of view, and from the investors' point of view, and from the diversification of the economy point of view. First, from the government point of view. Mongolia had received total around 43 billion MNT since democratic revolution, or for last 33 years. Out of this 40, only $5 billion came for the first 20 years. The remaining for last 13 years, since 2010, since the OT started, Oyutogla started. And 3/4 of this investment came to the mining industry, 10% to trade and service. So it shows how mining industry is a factor that we cannot ignore. Mongolia created new ministry, which is Economic and Development Ministry, Ministry for Economics and Development. New investment law is being prepared by this ministry, and they tried to adopt it, I think, before this forum, but they could not, and it looks like will go for the fall session of the parliament. So what are news? What are updates in this law? There were certain restrictions of foreign direct investment in several industries, several sectors. That is not anymore. And now investors can go to international arbitration, which was not the case before. And now this foreign direct investment companies registration, all other the formalities, period, time, and the permission for residence, etc., all this work is now supposedly to be, in this draft law is there, way shorter. There are tax and non-tax incentives. There will be stability agreement for the investment more than 500 billion MNT. And the inspection from different levels of state, tax, environmental, IMAG, or all these investigations, inspections usually happens one by one. Now will be only 2 times a year, and these inspections can be joint inspections of the related organizations. Mr. Zantan Shatar said at the forum that Mongolian constitutional amendment in 2019 had created legal form for very stable policy of investment. That's yes, there are a lot of good laws in Mongolia protecting the interests of businesses, foreign direct investments, etc., etc. But the problem is with enforcement of the laws and regulations in this country. That's what Mongolia needs to pay attention. Second thing is with growing inflation and the exchange rate of Mongolian national currency, are the big concern for foreign direct investors, because it is a big option to go to the country where you have more than 10% inflation and the exchange rate with the substantial devaluation of national currency. So that's from a government point of view. So foreign direct investment from the investor's point of view. I would like to highlight here Rio Tinto participation in this economic forum. Total 500 delegations from abroad came to the forum, and 1/3 of them are connected with Rio Tinto because they were full board members of Rio Tinto group were here, and all executive directors, which is a very unique case that all these people don't go to one country like this. Rio Tinto Group is largest investor to Mongolia, running Oyu Tolgoi copper project. And this group has 150 years history, and the market capitalization of the group is now $100 billion, and it has 55,000 staff workers all around the world. And this is the second largest mining company in the world. And they have brought also with them investors, shareholders, financiers of the 35 countries' projects. So that it was a very substantial, large number of delegation, I think, to Mongolia. Group board chairman Dominique Barton said that OT will be number 4 copper producer by 2030. And so far, it has invested $15 billion to this OT project. OT is a project, according to his description, it's the size of Manhattan ore body at the depth of 1,500 meters to the ground. And there are total 20,000 total workers, and out of which 90% are Mongolians. And the OT domestic procurement is $5 billion. So Mr. Barton had met also the Prime Minister, and he had highlighted also the roadmap of future of Mongolia. And there is many possibility of diversification of Mongolian economy, and Rio Tinto will participate in this. It looks like they will start from the projects like renewable energy in Gobi, and also providing Gobi provinces with water. These are looks like the first project other than mining by Rio Tinto with the Mongolian government. There is another large investor who is to sign stability investment contract with Mongolia. This is a French company, Orano, which was represented by Mr. Olivier Thomé, and he said that in the process of producing this yellow powder, they will need more sulfuric acid, which is another product coming if Mongolia produce or makes copper smelter in Mongolia. That's the plan of the government. If they will do smelter in Mongolia, the byproducts will be a lot sulfuric acid. So that will be supplying to Orano, possibly. It would create another good value chain, new value chain in Mongolia, which will be the basis of chemical industry in this country. In terms of the economic diversification, the Economic Forum had discussed, there were some 400 people have been discussing on many issues, but they have discussed other than mining industry as well, including tourism, agriculture, where Mongolia has plenty of resources, and also renewable energy, production creating new production facilities for copper, and also petroleum processing plant. And for that, there will be also leather and meat factories. The projects were introduced, and there will be many economic free zones. And economic free zones have a special law that gives particular better conditions for subjects or economic subjects working inside of the economic zone. And also there were a lot of highlights on the works for new connection of border ports with China. There are 3 or 4 railway connections, another 3 or 4 auto road connections, and those will be a good facility for developing infrastructure that support economic development in the country, not only in the mining sector. And also they have been mentioning the particular tariff discount system with Europe, with the Asian Pacific country, because we became Asian Pacific trade agreement part. And also Mongolia has a economic partnership contract with agreement with Japan, which allows some 50 to 57,000 different goods can be exported to Japan with discounted tariff. So these were the major topics of the Economic Forum. And the Economic Forum was historically large participation attracting, and also it was the largest foreign promotion for Mongolia. So our second topic for this week is about flood in Ulaanbaatar city. What is happening afterwards? 2 weeks ago we talked about the flood coming, and the flood in Ulaanbaatar city in particular have made substantial damage to property, residences, cars, many things in the country. Now, what are we doing afterwards? The city managers meeting was held and talked about what exactly happened, and there is a city emergency department had briefed a little bit. Mr. Dashnim had briefed about the damage, about the water of Tol River became at the critical level, and some 26 districts, Horo, the smaller unit of the district, 26 Horo, 2,000 household, and 130,000 people were victims. There are 144 construction units and roads were also damaged. 53,000 people had no electricity. So they are mostly public officers. 15,000 people have been working in 18 locations after the flood. And many people were also saved by using helicopter, boat, and other ways. There is no damage to the drinking water of Ulaanbaatar city. And now Ulaanbaatar city in particular, in the areas affected by the flood, substantial disinfection work is going on. So far, 4.2 million square meter places are disinfected, but this disinfection to be made every 2 days again and again, since it is all the soil under the flood have been creating so much mud, and there were thousands of trucks have been used for removing this muds after the water has gone. This flood has revealed many problems with city planning, building, and giving related permission for people to make their own houses or own gear made. And unfortunately, many people had been staying or constructed their houses in the area, which is risky for flood. So now question is coming, what shall we do? How to make sure that we don't have this situation anymore? First of all, I think city planning is to be normal. It is to be enforced, all the city planning, not like now everybody is doing whatever they want. And then afterwards, to make a dam properly. But then most importantly, we should have defined the risk of flood in each area after making them correctly. Because it is to be made by insurance company. And we must have two types of insurance. One is a public or national insurance system, which is obligatory, depending on the risk of the area. We should have a ranking of the areas, higher rank, more premium. And once it's public insurance system, then we should know the money expenses, the way how money is expended. We had created in 2002 Ulaanbaatar City Insurance with the public money. But as I have checked it as of today, it now belongs to one person as the final ownership. Actually, 2% plus 5% of the city authority has 5%. But this insurance system works. It is supposed to be a public company, but it now turned to be a private company. But this is a big name of Ulaanbaatar City. Otherwise, it is the basis of actually that national insurance system I'm talking about. Similar system is existing in all the states of the United States, for example. And they must have business owner, house holders. House owners, they also must have the flood insurance, as well as the fire insurance. It's a requirement. But the people can also have insurance from private company. But these two companies, insurance companies, are different. And it's a job of this insurance company to make a ranking of risks of the different areas. And only that company can make sure that this money collected, the premium money collected from the customers, go to prevent possible flood and to make sure it least dams whenever it's necessary. Without this establishment of this mechanism, I don't think Ulaanbaatar will be able to avoid the situation we had this month in Ulaanbaatar City. So we have a lot of things to do now ahead, and hopefully we must do that. And all the thing is, this insurance system, should be very transparent. Our third topic is about tourism industry. Why now? Because Mongolia has announced this year, next year, years to visit Mongolia. And yet we have adopted the amendments to Mongolian tourism law on May 4th this year. And within 90 days, according to this law, we should create professional union of tourism in the country. And that one created a big debates among players in this industry. Initially, the law had said that every tourist should be served by only tour operators. And they made clear also a definition of tour operator and tour agent, tour agency. And the third is the guide. Definition is there. It's like internationally accepted. Tour operator is a packing products, services. It's kind of wholesaler, and the tour agent is a seller to the customer, and the tourism guide is the person who is from day one, from the end, to be organizing that tour, the group tour of the tourists. Though the definition is more or less clear, but the issue is then who will certify, who will give quality insurance of the services for every services, in particular, for example, guide services. And what the situation in Mongolia is very drastic, what's happening for the last 30 years. Everybody can be tour operator or tourist guide as soon as you speak some languages. All that altogether makes our tourism reputation not good, because there is no quality assurance. That's why, and plus some operator pays taxes, some not. As a result, they are not in equal situation to compete. So there are issues which a lot to be discussed, And I hereby suggest we follow some examples of other countries like Japan, where, for example, Japan National Tourism Organizations, which kind of coordinates all these issues, plus quality assurance. And this organization was founded in 1964 with the mission to encourage international travelers to visit Japan. And it's affiliated with the Japan Tourism Agency of the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism. Similar idea is in this new law, which creates it creates Tourism National Committee. That's the name of the organization supposed to be created. And with this Tourism National Committee, there should be a professional tourism union. There is a conflict how to make it, and many people want to have that freedom of running this business themselves without any intervention, which is creating the same situation what we have. So hopefully within 90 days all tourism industry players will be discussing these issues, and they will come hopefully to the conclusion that makes better the industry and Mongolian tourism more competitive, and most importantly of ensuring a good quality, assuring good quality for every visitors to the country. There are many issues to solve in terms of transportation, in particular domestic flights, domestic transportation, but still we need to have such a system where all the services are quality, are guaranteed, safety is provided and guaranteed. So a lot of things to do in this industry, and hopefully they will solve the issue at the meeting expected this week. Thank you very much. So we have covered 3 topics today about the Mongolian Economic Forum 2023. The second is about the flood, what's happening afterwards. The third is about tourism sector players debates coming this week. Thank you very much for watching us. See you next time.